This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, strong to severe storms are possible during the next couple of days, so we've declared a severe weather alert day. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has more on the timing and what to expect. Evan.
That's right, Steve. It's been a warm and increasingly muggy day around the mountains today. Well, we've seen some sunshine. That's not a great sign because that means we've got more energy, more fuel for thunderstorms as they develop out to the west and head in our direction. You see the sunshine right now from our camera at UVA-wise. We've got plenty of just filtered sunshine out there. Kind of looks like it's going to storm. You see that out front here from our studio camera, WYMT, more of those high clouds pushing in. It is a warm one out there. Temperatures upper 70s to near 80, even some mid 80s as you head out toward Monticello. But notice as you look toward Louisville, those temperatures drop off fast. Well, there's a reason for that. It's a clean sweep in the mountains right now, but look off to the west. Complex of strong storms pushing along and just south of the Interstate 64 corridor from the Louisville area back toward Elizabethtown down I-65. If you've traveled that route before, none of those are severe, but they're pushing into an air mass that hasn't seen a whole lot of working over today. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the potential for some of these to produce winds greater at right now than 40 miles per hour and some drenching heavy rain. You see a lot of lightning with these thunderstorms as well. Everything will continue to scoot off to the east as we run through tonight. Notice that subtle swirl in the atmosphere. Yeah, that's a lot kind of localized low pressure, and that's what's going to help fuel the potential for showers and storms as we head through the remainder of the afternoon and into the evening hours. So go ahead, if you don't have it already, download that WYMT weather app. You're going to need it because we've got not only the latest radar in the palm of your hand, but also our forecast. And if alerts are issued for your location, you get them the instant they are issued as we drop into the mid-60s with scattered storms tonight. I'll break down the latest trends on Future View coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. For the first time since before the pandemic, a service was held to honor emergency medical personnel who have died in the line of duty. 35 names were read at the Firefighters Memorial, and where a new memorial honoring EMTs will be constructed in Frankfort. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what was said to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
There will be at least 35 names placed on a memorial to honor those who died in the line of duty. Today's service, the first since before the pandemic, and for 5 years there's been an effort to build a permanent memorial here. The service has taken place at the Firefighters Memorial to honor paramedics, EMTs, flight nurses, firefighters providing medical care, or others who died while helping others. The hope is that soon the service can take place at a new memorial of its own. People said today that it's important to have memorials to remember as that has been a practice as far back as biblical times.
Today, that's why this monument is so important, so that someone comes up to this monument and says, "Mom and Dad, what does that mean?" And they say, "Let me tell you the sacrifice that men and women have given in EMS."
Those 35 are some who died recently, some who died months and years ago. A new name read today, Mark Woodcock, an air evac team member who passed away after he contracted COVID-19. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The EMS Memorial Board is reviewing 2 additional names that could be added to the memorial. Remote Area Medical will be hosting a free pop-up clinic in one Virginia town this weekend. The clinic will be in Emory, Virginia on May 21st through the 22nd. RAM will be offering free dental, vision, and hearing services as well as general medical. All services are free and no ID is required. For folks not wanting to make that drive, a pop-up clinic will be in Hazard in June. Folks there can expect even more services, including mental health support and smoking cessation.
Our additional services are really reliant on who is interested in coming to the clinic because we work through a community host group model, meaning that we only go to places where we're invited. We only go to places where the community is working to bring us in.
The free Hazard Clinic will be on June 11th and 12th. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Wednesday, and it was a really rough day on Wall Street. The Dow closes down more than 1,161 points. Again, the Dow down today 1,161 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Today, the U.S. Embassy officially reopened the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, after a 3-month-long absence. The White House is getting ready to host the leaders of Finland and Sweden tomorrow, in part to discuss their applications for NATO membership. Both countries have said Russia's war on Ukraine influenced their decisions to join the alliance. CBS's Deborah Alfarone has more from Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are gearing up for a final vote on a massive Ukraine assistance bill.
The American flag was hoisted to mark the reopening of the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. The same day, a Russian soldier pled guilty in a war crimes trial to shooting and killing an unarmed elderly civilian. It's been nearly 3 months since Russia invaded Ukraine, a move that prompted Finland and Sweden to formally submit their applications to join NATO this week.
This is a time when the democracies of Europe and North America must stand together against Russia's naked aggression.
On Thursday, President Biden will host the leaders of Finland and Sweden at the White House. In a statement, he declared his support and vowed to work with Congress and allies to quickly get their NATO applications approved.
You can convince Turkey to accept their bid?
I think we're going to be okay.
Also on Thursday, the U.S. Senate will vote on a nearly $40 billion aid package for Ukraine. It overwhelmingly passed the House last week, but Republican Rand Paul has been holding up Senate approval.
For Senator Paul to delay Ukraine funding for purely political motives is to only strengthen Putin's hand.
The outcome of Ukraine's fight to preserve its sovereignty will have massive consequences for our own strategic interests.
Vice President Kamala Harris invoked the war in her address to U.S. Coast Guard graduates.
The world you graduate into is unsettled.
The crowd erupted when a graduate from Ukraine received his diploma. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
The Senate Foreign Relations Committee is meeting to consider the nomination of Bridget Brink to become U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. Today, Majority Leader Schumer said getting her confirmed by the full Senate in the coming days is a top priority. Days after the deadly mass shooting at a supermarket in a predominantly black neighborhood in Buffalo, New York, lawmakers are pushing for change. The Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022 is up for a vote today. As its name indicates, the bill is aimed at preventing domestic terrorism and fighting violent extremism. It would set up offices focused on domestic terrorism at the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the FBI to track and analyze domestic terrorist activity with the goal of prevention. Once the bill passes the Democratic-controlled House as expected, it'll head to the Senate for consideration, but how it will do there is not clear. If you are tired of hearing and reading about politics, you're not alone. A new CNN poll conducted by SSRS reports most Americans feel the same way. Only about a quarter of those polled call themselves fired up about politics. 53% say they're burned out. Roughly 1/3 say they feel their side is currently losing more than winning in politics. A majority of those polled, 65%, also said they are concerned about the direction the U.S. is going in. Still ahead on First at 4, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and some big names are working together to help reduce the stigma attached to seeking help.
Warm and stormy is the name of the game over the next several days as we watch system after system push into the region. Full breakdowns coming up next.
Window World is proud to give back to those who need it most. Many customers have donated to our efforts.